disappeared in a parking lot. The tragic case of Canny Ong, Kuala Lumpur, the bustling heart of Malaysia, was shaken by a chilling crime in 2003. This story revolves around Canny Ong, a talented information analyst, martial artist, and devoted daughter. What began as a simple farewell dinner with family and friends turned into a tragic mystery that left the nation horrified. If you enjoy intriguing and shocking Reddit stories, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this post. Stick around as we unravel the haunting events, the investigation that followed, and the twist that revealed the dark truth behind a seemingly normal life. In 2003, Malaysia was shaken by a chilling and mysterious crime. A 28-year-old information analyst and accomplished black belt in Taekwondo disappeared without a trace after attending a social gathering. What followed was a deeply unsettling investigation that gradually unraveled the truth, leaving many deeply disturbed. The incident occurred in Kuala Lumpur, the bustling capital of Malaysia, home to approximately 2 million residents. At the heart of this tragic story was Canny Ong, born on July 18, 1974. Of mixed heritage, she was the daughter of Ong Bi, a respected high school principal of Chinese descent, and Pearly, an Indian teacher. Canny was celebrated for her beauty, intellect, and virtuous character. Her family and friends admired her kindness, strong sense of duty, and unwavering devotion to her loved ones. Beyond her striking appearance, Canny excelled in academics and sports, earning a black belt in Taekwondo, a testament to her discipline and determination. Canny's academic achievements were equally remarkable. After graduating with honors in 1995, she pursued her studies in information technology at the University of California, where she thrived both academically and socially. During her time in the United States, she met Brandon Ong, a charming Chinese-American man. Their relationship blossomed, and by 2001, the two were married, creating a picture-perfect life together. With promising careers and a bright future ahead, their union seemed idyllic. However, life took a dramatic turn in early 2003 when Canny's father was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer during a routine health check. Though the prognosis was optimistic due to early detection, the condition required a high-risk surgical procedure. Upon learning the news, Canny made a selfless decision to return to Malaysia, temporarily setting aside her career and her life with Brandon. She was determined to be by her father's side during this critical time. On June 1st, 2003, Canny boarded a flight from the United States back to Malaysia, where she immersed herself in caring for her father. Her devotion was unwavering as she supported him through the challenges of surgery and recovery. The operation proved to be a success, and her father's health began to improve significantly. For Canny, family was her greatest treasure, and her actions were a testament to the depth of her love and dedication. This turn of events brought Canny great relief. After over 10 days of tending to her father, she noticed his health had significantly improved. With her father's recovery on track, she began preparing to return to her life and work in the United States. On June 14th, the family decided to host a farewell party to celebrate her time back home and bid her goodbye before her departure. What no one could have foreseen was the tragedy that would unfold after the farewell party. To piece together what happened, we rewind to June 13th, 2003, a day before Canny's planned departure. Her family organized an intimate gathering at a restaurant in the Bangsar shopping center. The guest list included only close family members and a few trusted friends. The party was scheduled for 8:20 p.m., and Canny drove her mother to the venue. The parking garage at the shopping center was unusually dim due to malfunctioning lights, casting an eerie atmosphere over the space. Running behind schedule, they parked quickly and hurried toward the restaurant. As they were making their way, Canny suddenly realized she had left the parking ticket in the car. At the time, Malaysia's parking systems operated differently from many others. Drivers needed to keep the parking ticket with them, as the payment terminals were often located away from the exits. Shrugging off the inconvenience, Canny told her mother they could retrieve it after dinner. When they reached the restaurant, the other guests were already there, and the gathering was in full swing. The evening was filled with lively conversations and laughter as Canny caught up with friends she hadn't seen in years. Time flew by, and before long, it was 10 p.m. Although she wanted to continue enjoying the evening, Canny decided to take her tired mother home first, planning to return to the party afterward. She accompanied her mother and sister out of the restaurant, and they made their way to the parking garage. While standing in line at the ticket payment counter, Connie realized she still hadn't retrieved the parking ticket. She reassured her mother and sister, asking them to wait while she went back to the car to get it. Taking the elevator down to the dimly lit parking garage, Canny hurried toward the car. The distance wasn't far, but as the minutes ticked by, she didn't return. 20 minutes passed, and there was no sign of her. When Canny's mother and sister realized she had not returned, their concern turned into panic. They tried calling her multiple times, but their calls went unanswered. Growing increasingly alarmed, they decided to go to the parking garage to check on her. To their horror, her car was gone, and there was no sign of Canny. Desperate, they rushed back to the restaurant to alert others about her disappearance. Frantically, the family made numerous calls to her phone, but there was no response. Eventually, the phone was switched off, amplifying their fears. Remembering that the parking garage was equipped with security cameras, they immediately sought help from the security staff to review the footage. Initially, they were told that surveillance footage could only be accessed after midnight due to regulations. After emotional pleas from Connie's family, the staff relented and agreed to check the recordings. What they saw on the screen was horrifying. At 10:16 p.m. for the next 2 days, both the police and Connie's family searched relentlessly, but found no leads. The lack of progress was agonizing. Desperate for a breakthrough, Connie's family decided to turn to the media for help. They issued numerous missing person notices and offered a reward of 10,000 ringgit, equivalent to over 2,000 USD, for any information leading to her whereabouts. The case quickly captured public attention, generating widespread concern and media coverage. The story of the missing IT analyst and martial artist spread like wildfire, and the public outcry put immense pressure on the Malaysian police to solve the case. Connie's disappearance had gripped the nation, and everyone was desperate for answers. On June 16th, a breakthrough in the case came when a patrol officer reported finding a car with a matching license plate parked near an abandoned construction site. The police rushed to the scene only to be horrified by what they discovered. The car's front end was damaged, likely from smashing through the parking garage barrier during Canny Ong's abduction. One of the front tires was also missing, appearing to have come off due to a high-speed collision. What shocked the investigators most was the gruesome evidence inside the car. The back seat was stained with a large amount of blood, suggesting that Canny had been severely injured. Even more disturbing were traces of semen, pointing to the harrowing possibility that she had been raped. Despite combing through the vehicle and the surrounding area, the police found no additional clues or evidence of Canny's whereabouts. In a desperate attempt to track her down, the police called her phone. To their surprise, a man answered. They quickly traced the call to a taxi driver named Azizan Ismail and brought him in for questioning. Azizan recounted a strange encounter that occurred early on the morning of June 14th. While driving to work, he spotted a car parked by the roadside. Needing a piece of wood to repair his broken car seat, he stopped near the vehicle. Inside, he saw a naked woman in the back seat and a man sitting in the driver's seat. Assuming they were a couple engaged in private activities, he thought little of it and drove away. Later that day, on his way back from running errands, Azizan passed by the same car, still parked in the same location. This time, his curiosity got the better of him. When he approached the car, he found it empty, but a woman's handbag and mobile phone lay on the back seat. Seeing no one around, he impulsively took the items and left. It was Azizan's use of Canny's phone that ultimately led the police to him. After questioning and further investigation, the police determined that Azizan was not connected to Canny's disappearance. His physical description did not match that of the man seen on the surveillance footage in the parking garage. Instead, Azizan provided a detailed account of the man he had seen in the driver's seat, which matched the description of the attacker caught on camera. With this information, the police ruled him out as a suspect and treated him as a witness. The search for Canny intensified, but the trail remained cold. Then, on June 17th, 4 days to confirm the identity of the victim, the police invited Canny Ong's best friend Natasha and her sister to the hospital morgue. Upon viewing the body, Connie's sister immediately recognized an unburnt pair of jeans. They were the very jeans she had lent to Connie for the farewell dinner. This, combined with DNA testing, confirmed the tragic truth. The burnt remains belonged to Connie. As the investigation progressed, a witness named Amina Isaac came forward with crucial information. In the early hours of June 14th, she had experienced a flat tire and encountered a strange man who knocked on her car window, asking for tools to fix his own vehicle. Amina agreed, and her brother stepped out to help. While assisting the man, Amina noticed a young woman sitting in the back passenger seat of his car. The woman sat with her hands folded, gazing at Amina with what seemed like a silent plea for help. Concerned, Amina exited her car and approached the woman. At that moment, the man became visibly agitated. He abruptly abandoned the tire change, jumped into his car, and sped away. Sensing that something was seriously wrong, Amina quickly noted down the car's license plate number, WFN 6871, a match for Canny Ong's vehicle. The police also received reports from undercover officer Ravi Chandran, who had been patrolling the area with a colleague on the night of June 13th. At around 11:15 p.m., they noticed a blue car parked by the side of the road. Initially, they thought nothing of it and continued their patrol. However, upon returning to the area over 30 minutes later, the car was still parked in the same spot. This time, Ravi decided to investigate. Approaching the vehicle, he saw a man in the driver's seat and a woman who appeared to be crouching or moving furtively inside. The scene seemed unusual, but before Ravi could intervene, the car sped away into the night, leaving the officer unsettled. This sighting, combined with Amina's account and the evidence from the crime scene, brought the investigation closer to identifying Canny's abductor and murderer. The officers requested identification from the man and woman inside the car, and both complied without hesitation. While reviewing the IDs, one officer noticed the woman making peculiar gestures, folding her arms across her chest as if silently pleading for help. Alarmed by her behavior, he asked her to step out of the car for questioning. As the woman reached for the door handle, the man suddenly became aggressive. He yelled at the officers, accusing them of being fake police and robbers. Without warning, he slammed the car door shut and sped away. The officers fired 2 shots at the fleeing vehicle, one of which struck a tire, but the car managed to escape into the night. In the chaos, the officers failed to record the vehicle's license plate, but they still had the IDs from the 2 individuals in the car. At the time, Canny Ong's kid. The investigation into Ahmad Najib revealed unexpected details about his background. He was described as a devout Christian with no prior criminal record, living what seemed to be an idyllic family life. Najib worked as the director of an aircraft cleaning company. His wife held a senior position at a bank, and the couple had a 3-year-old child. Adding to the complexity, his wife was 3 months pregnant at the time. Given these circumstances, it was baffling to the police and public alike why Najib would commit such a heinous crime. A search warrant was obtained for Najib's home, where investigators found incriminating evidence, including a blood-stained blue jacket and blue jeans. DNA analysis confirmed that the blood matched Canny Ong. With this evidence and corroboration from Officer Ravi Chandran, Najib finally confessed, recounting the horrific sequence of events and leading the police to the crime scenes. Najib admitted that on the night of June 13th, he had been at the shopping center and spotted Canny. Struck by her beauty, he became fixated on her. He followed her and her mother to the parking garage on his motorcycle, but initially refrained from acting when he noticed another person in the car. Leaving his motorcycle outside, he lingered in the shadows of the parking lot, waiting for an opportunity to act. Hours later, his patience paid off when Canny returned alone to the parking garage to retrieve her ticket. As she searched the car, Najib approached her from behind, brandishing a knife to subdue her. Overpowering her, he forced her into the car. Fearing discovery, he drove recklessly through the parking lot barrier and fled the scene. During his confession, Najib admitted to raping Canny twice. Despite her resistance, he overpowered her, and when she continued to fight back, he fatally stabbed her in the abdomen. As she lay gasping for breath, Najib panicked, unsure of how to handle the situation. He tied her up with a strip of cloth. Desperate to dispose of the evidence, he noticed an open drainage ditch by the roadside and decided to dump her body there. Najib further revealed that he placed 2 car tires filled with cement over Canny's body, covering the ditch with wooden boards before fleeing the scene. The following day, in an effort to destroy evidence, he returned to the ditch with gasoline and a lighter, setting the remains on fire. This chilling admission laid bare the full extent of Najib's depravity and provided a horrifying conclusion to the mystery surrounding Canny Ong's tragic disappearance. The confession exposed the depth of Najib's brutality, shocking not only the investigators but also the nation. It brought closure to Connie's case but left her family and the public grappling with the senselessness of the crime and the profound loss of a promising life. The evidence gathered by the police, coupled with Najib's detailed confession, appeared to conclusively reconstruct the tragic series of events leading to Canny Ong's death. However, the case took an unexpected turn. Najib's lack of a criminal history and seemingly happy family life had already shocked the community, but his retraction of his confession and subsequent defense strategy added further complexity to the case. After Najib's confession, his family enlisted the services of Muhammad Hanif, a prominent defense attorney, to represent him in the trial. Shortly thereafter, Najib retracted his confession, alleging that it had been coerced by the police. He claimed that investigators had threatened to imprison his wife, child, and parents unless he admitted guilt. His defense asserted that the confession was made under duress and was therefore invalid. Najib maintained his innocence despite the mounting evidence against him. While the police had presented critical DNA evidence and bloodstains found on clothing at his home, Najib's lawyer argued that this was circumstantial and insufficient to prove his guilt. Hanif sought to dismantle the prosecution's case by pointing out several perceived flaws and inconsistencies. First, the lawyer argued that the surveillance footage from the parking garage was of poor quality and inconclusive. It was unclear if the man in the footage was indeed Najib. Even if he was the individual in question, the footage did not prove that he kidnapped Connie. The possibility that she left with him voluntarily could not be ruled out. Second, Hanif highlighted that Connie was a black belt in Taekwondo, skilled in self-defense, while Najib was an ordinary man with no combat training. The scenario of him overpowering her single-handedly seemed implausible, raising doubts about the prosecution's narrative. Third, the lawyer questioned why Connie had not attempted to escape during two apparent opportunities. The first was when they encountered the police, where she could have opened the car door and fled. The second was when Najib was borrowing tools to fix a tire, leaving her alone in the car. Hanif argued that her failure to escape in these moments suggested a different dynamic between them. Fourth, the defense scrutinized the bloodstained jeans found at Najib's home, challenging their authenticity. Hanif questioned whether the police had verified that the jeans belonged to Najib, alleging potential mishandling or fabrication of evidence. Finally, in an attempt to shift the narrative, Najib claimed that his encounter with Connie was consensual and that their interaction was part of a relationship that tragically spiraled out of control. He denied raping her, suggesting instead that the events leading to her death were the result of an unintended escalation. These arguments introduced doubt, and in 2007, Najib's appeal was rejected, affirming the original verdict. 2 years later, in 2009, he sought clemency to have his death sentence commuted to life imprisonment. However, this plea was also denied. Ultimately, on September 2, 2016, Najib's life came to an end while in prison, marking the final chapter of a case that had haunted Malaysia for years. The aftermath of the case prompted significant changes aimed at preventing similar tragedies. Shopping centers introduced designated parking areas for women, installed more surveillance cameras, and equipped buildings with emergency call buttons. These measures sought to improve safety, but experts acknowledged that they could only reduce risks, not eliminate them entirely. Canny Ong's tragic story left a lasting impact on her community and the nation. It served as a painful reminder of the unpredictable dangers that exist in everyday life and the importance of vigilance in protecting public safety. The tragic case of Canny Ong serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable dangers in our everyday lives. It highlights the importance of vigilance, the need for safer public spaces, and the profound impact one crime can have on a family, a community, and a nation. What began as an ordinary evening ended in a chilling tragedy that still resonates years later. Thank you for following this Reddit story. If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who enjoy thought-provoking content. Your support helps bring more stories like this to light. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll catch you in the next video.